MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming.
Hey, welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Raman Annamaraju. I'm the host of the MedBix. I have a very important guest today. He's a friend of mine and an exceptional physician. He's a 1 in a million. I'm not saying that to say that. He's a truly 1 in a million. I instead of saying a lot of words for him, I made a small video about him. I'm going to introduce him, my guest, Dr. Romesh Japra. I'm going to introduce him, okay, through a video. So you'll see that a little bit after that I'll be bringing him and we can talk with him, okay? So let me play the video that
I'm Romesh Japra. Welcome to Festival of Globe Fog.
ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन दुल्हन के माथे की बिंदिया ये मेरा इंडिया I love my India.
That is not in India, it is in Silicon Valley. He brought India to Silicon Valley when Silicon Valley is no Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was in essence just a collection of sleepy towns and rural communities far removed from the technological powerhouse it would eventually evolve into. Dr. Romesh Japra, hailing from a humble village in India, embarked on a transformative journey that led him to Fremont, California after completing his cardiology training in the US. His arrival marked a significant turning point for the town as he brought forth the rich tapestry of India's traditions, cultures, and festivals, intertwining them seamlessly into the fabric of American life. Despite encountering discrimination and bias, he remained steadfast in his commitment to practicing cardiology. Dr. Japra has been ranked among top 20% doctors in North America with a specialization in cardiovascular disease and internal medicine. He provided care to a diverse diaspora, including individuals from India, China, Russia, and Afghanistan, and many other countries. Understanding the cultural and religious sensitivities of immigrants, he delivered health care with a profound respect, dignity, and unwavering compassion.
I'm Romesh Japra. I'm a cardiologist. Of course, I have long hours. Usually get up 6 o'clock in the morning, get my workout, have a little breakfast, and come to the hospital where usually I have scheduled patients for procedures, surgeries. The procedures mostly I do is cardiac angiograms or catheterizations, and then they may end up with having angioplasty or stenting. Some of the other procedures we do is the pacemakers, defibrillators. Many times we open up the arteries in the kidney arteries, the peripheral, the leg arteries. So these are the kind of
Japra Mahal, a sprawling mansion constructed from imported marble stones from India, stands majestically amidst a 25-acre vineyard in Fremont. Its grandeur is marked by a towering Ganesh statue at the entrance extending warm welcome to visitors. Overlooking the Dumbarton Bridge, which links the towns of Elon Musk's Tesla factory in Fremont and the Silicon Valley investment hub of Menlo Park, Japra Mahal has evolved into a distinguished meeting place for luminaries, diplomats, and entertainers from across the globe. It serves as a hub for a vibrant intellectual discourse and a cultural exchange, fostering connections and collaborations that transcend borders and boundaries. The Festival of Globe, known as a FOG, a non-profit organization, flagship of Dr. Japra, reflects his charismatic, vivacious, and vibrant personality.
We flying high just like a first class flight. Yeah, I'm feeling alright, about to go dynamite. Now go do your thing, girl. Go and get it started. Go and get it started. I said now get up on the dance floor. Go and get it started. It's a Dr. Japra party. Hey.
So my name is Laura Turner Seidel, and I'm here to help celebrate India Independence Day, and we are having a wonderful day, dancing, singing, celebrating, and Dr. Japra is amazing what he's done here.
Move your body right. We keep it rocking till the morning light. Everybody singing now all through the night.
Yeah, we be turning it up. Roof on fire, burning it up. Drop that thing down to the ground while the DJ in the booth straight cutting it up. We own that black label. Yeah, that's that desi liquor. Na menu koi nahi parwa, koi nahi tension, koi nahi fikr. Now drop it and shake it and move it. We popping that champagne and feeling the music. We just getting started, the feelings amusing. I'm so used to winning, I don't need the proper one man gang showstopper. Are you feeling sick? I know the doctor. That's Dr. Japra. I'm a king just like Mufasa. We own that Johnny Walker.
Beyond the superficial allure of prestige lies a deeper and more profound calling, a commitment to serve communities we live in. In the face of uncertainty, Dr. Romesh Japra lights the way for future physicians. Embrace roles beyond healing, be a mentors, friends, activists, coaches, and staunch advocates for the patient's well-being. Dr. Japra embodies the very essence of noble profession, epitomizing the qualities of compassion and leadership that define the doctor. Long live Dr. Japra.
How do you like the video? You know, you deserve every bit of
Oh
that.
my goodness, that's an amazing. I don't think I deserve all that, but you did a
No, no, no,
fantastic job. A lot
no.
of things I don't even recall or remember now what you did.
You know that I moved because of you to Silicon Valley. In fact, you are my I know you for a long time. You're one. I met a lot of physicians around me in my life. Hundreds of not thousands, but if not hundreds, thousands. But you're one of the exceptional physician. You have that the ability. I remember particularly, but before I do anything, I wanted to ask you a funny question. How did you meet the MC Hammer, the rap artist?
Well, he was my neighbor here. Actually, he had a 25-acre house also right next to mine. Before, of course, when he was not doing too well, then he had to sell his house and move out to Tracy. But he used to be my neighbor, and we had a common friend, the mayor of city of Fremont, Bill Ball. So we had a common friend. We used to get together quite often, either at his place or my place, or meet outside with our mayor, Bill Ball. So that's how we had made friendship. And we were all working together for public service. Mayor was very, very kind, taking care of Fremont. Fremont was just developing those days. There were only 70,000 people those days, and now we have almost 250,000 people. So it's grown almost 4 times.
Oh, you are part of that, Dr. Japra. You are instrumental. You went to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, right? You did the cardiology training in India, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and then did the fellowship here, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So then you
Yeah.
eventually
So from All India Institute, I came over to Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, did my internal medical residency, then went to Cleveland Clinic, did my cardiology at Cleveland Clinic, the fellowship, and then came over to California.
Yeah, that itself is more than enough credentials for all of us. One thing I noticed is that, when I know you for a long time, and my family knows you, and my family. One thing we noticed is that you whenever you're treating people that you have you went out of the way to understand the community. I remember one incident particularly, Dr. Japra. I went with you. This woman, she was one of the family members' daughter, got killed by a drunk driver. You don't even that they're not even your patients. We went there, spent 2.5 hours. I don't know whether you remember or not. We went there to spend 2 hours with that family, sitting down there in San Jose or someplace. So that was a very moving for me. So you have a very deep connection with the community. Everybody knows you, but still, that commitment. That is the one thing that I understand from you. How that doctor to be. That you're not just a patients, but everybody in the community are the your citizens.
Well, those kind of karmas, I call them good karmas. So you have to become a karma yogi. It's funny that you mentioned that, 2 days ago, one of our community members, and he used to work just as a waiter in one of these restaurants, 35 years old, suddenly died of heart attack, and he had to go to the hospital in the emergency room. And now there has nobody, no family here. The guy had just come here, as a worker, and he was there only for a couple of years, working in the restaurant. Poor guy died, and now his family wants the body back. And the cardiologist who saw him in the emergency room in San Jose did not want to sign the death certificate, and nobody wanted a death certificate. And without the death certificate, we cannot fly back the body, even though we have consul general, everybody ready to help out and fly the body back to India. Finally, just happened about half an hour ago. I persuaded that cardiologist to Dr. Alvi in San Jose to sign the death certificate. Now the body can go back to India. The poor 35 years old guy, and the whole Bengali community is very, very grateful that it can happen, because otherwise there's nobody even here to take care of the body, the dead body. So, like you mentioned, these are the kind of things which, as community activists, as karma yogis, some of us have been doing it. You've been doing a lot of good work and created a lot of goodwill amongst most of the people, not only in Silicon Valley but also in Atlanta, Florida, and many other areas. I remember you've been going that and helping out. So this is something which you feel good about yourself. It brings you internal happiness, and as in our culture, that the philosophy of doing good karmas, you always gonna get rewarded, whether it's this life or next life, it doesn't matter. But the good karmas not only make you feel good, but you always gonna get rewarded one way or the other, which we should not worry about. Our culture, our Gita tells us that you just keep doing good karmas and don't worry about the rewards.
Dr. Japra, there is a lot of physicians I talk with. There is the kind of a healthcare is changing. A lot of physicians are worried about the Silicon Valley is going to take over. So the doctor's role has to be from just prescribing medications and checking the diagnosis and treatment. You have to be really like you. That's what I was mentioning in the video. That to be a mentor, a teacher, and a guru, and a friend, and really that is the role of a physician. Is going to be in the future of the physician. Do you think that is going to be evolving into that kind of a direction? The role of a physician.
Oh, absolutely. I think, advances in technology is one thing nobody can stop. And this is, people think it's going to hurt somebody or take somebody's job. But what I've seen over the last 50 years, I've been a doctor. I've been here since 73 after I did my MD from back home. Ames 73, it's exactly 50 years last year. And what I've seen over the years, how medicine has evolved. If the technology was not there, then medicine would not have evolved to that point. And now it's going to evolve further with artificial intelligence and other technological advances. Things have to evolve and get better and better, as long as it is going to benefit the human beings, whether it's going to make it faster, the care is going to be better, the more efficient, and hopefully less surgeries, less interventions, and we can do a lot more prevention, early diagnosis, early intervention. That's going to take care of a lot of problems. And so I have no issues whatsoever with the advances in technology. I think it's going to be the good for the humanity. So it should be welcome, and all the doctors, most of the doctors should welcome it and get into it and try to develop even more advances rather than being a roadblocks. They should be upfront running it so that we can benefit the humanity at large.
Not only that, just being a doctor means that you need to be a community activist. You got to, you have to be more than a physician, just prescribing medications. Rather than that, you need to be friend and teacher and really move the community as a leader without a non-political way. You move the community into the forward. That is going to be the future of the doctor. Doctor is a well-wisher of that community. Is going to be the role is going to be evolving. I think that's the future of the physician role. If they are worried about the Silicon Valley is going to take over, what do you think, Dr. Japra?
No, no, I don't think anybody's going to take over. There's always going to be something better and better in the future, whether they are, in the teaching institutions or whether they're private practice. So, unfortunately, the medicine is never going to go away. There's always, God, nature creates some of these diseases which we never heard of 20 years ago or 50 years ago. And there's always going to be something new, some new challenges, and we have to be always ready to take up those new challenges. But at the same time, one should not be worried about or afraid of that these advancements going to take care of the whole all the diseases, and then we will have nothing to do. I don't think that's ever going to be the case, because as the advances happen, you just do better and better. And there was a time when we just used to ride only the horse. Now we're riding rockets over there. Within seconds we are going from one end to the other. So that doesn't mean that those horses have become obsolete. Or the car's not going to be there or something else. There's just like the way of transportation, same way medicine is going to be practiced different way, and we should be always ready for it. And as long as it's for the betterment of individuals and the society at large, it should be welcome. So I don't think doctors have anything to worry about. But at the same time, what you are mentioning, that medical doctor should not be just a doctor in medicine, but overall health, which we always talk about, is not just taking care of the diseases. It's what we call universal health, and and there are some disciplines, as a matter of fact, in our Ayurveda, which we call it as a medicine discipline of the universe, which means it's an overall assessment, right from prevention to the wellness of the person. Even if you have no disease, there are so many things you have to be careful about and taking care of yourself. It's not just the diet, exercise, less stress, and things like that, but a lot more than that about your lifestyle, which should be taken care of, which should be propagated right from the beginning, from children to adults to everybody else, and our seniors. Everybody has a different need, and all those needs should be fulfilled.
Talking about Ayurveda, Dr. Japra, I used to go, they used to be invited for a lot of parties, a lot of weddings. I used to see you that in a lot of buffets, a lot of food, Indian parties, you used to, the control that you have on food, you used to go only one time. I never seen you going second time. You have such a control on the food. Food as a medicine, Ayurveda taught us. What you talk about? Let us talk about food. How do you eat very simple, straightforward. You don't go second time. How do you manage that, and how can you explain that to the patients and people like us?
Well, Ayurveda teaches you that. Basically, you mentioned Ayurveda. With Ayurveda, nutrition and food is everything. Okay, and as a matter of fact, they're calling all even their herbs and everything else is part of the food itself. So these are called nutrients and food. So they are not really medicines. So they whether they do have some medicinal values, but we call them in Ayurveda just as part of the food. So the food is teaches you discipline, and once you know that your body is going to be affected, but by not what you eat, but how often you eat, what what times you eat, and simple things when you eating, you should not be just watching TV and talking all the time and ignoring everything. Just standing up and running around and eating. You should be not be having a good breakfast and not have too much for the dinner. And very simple phenomena. As a matter of fact, last week I was one of the chief guests and a keynote speaker at one of those California Ayurveda Association of Medicine um, in California, where there's one physician had come from Mauritius, who has Dr. E. Sharma, who has introduced this food nutrients in the primary school right from age 6. So he was saying that the habits you develop at the age of 6, the food habits, they're probably going to stay with you for the rest of your life because you develop those tastes and you're going to probably be eating those kind of things. So the same phenomena which you are mentioning, they have introduced to the primary school, and they started as a course and as teachings. They have started teaching them in the schools, in the primary school and high school, and it's amazing. And once the government is part of it, the whole nutrition program is part of it, and they think 20 to 30 years down the line in Mauritius right now, every disease, even the chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, is in rampant almost 3 times for the rest of the world. Even whether they're developing countries or developed countries, it's almost 3 times. And they think after introducing this food habits and food values, it's going to go down, way down. But you will not know the results right now, probably 20 to 30 years down the line, because these kids who are doing it now, I think they'll see the results in 30 years.
You see that now India is under infested with this diabetes is a chronic disease or taking over India, diabetes and the cardiovascular diseases. What do you think India moved from something technologically went ahead, but in the food and these habits are really killing and creating a chronic diseases. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, that's actually everything is about your lifestyle. So, food is just one part of the lifestyle. So, your food habits, exercise habits, your relaxations, and your mental health, and we call it, even emotional health, and you can go into even spiritual health if you want to go deeper into it. We can talk about that also. So the physical health is just one part of it. There are 3 other areas where mental, emotional, and spiritual health is also important. So to have to get your lifestyle. Unfortunately, the Western lifestyle is taking over the whole world right now. So some of those countries like India, China, Japan, of course, 40 years ago, they used to call them developing, and now the economic prosperity, comes with this Western lifestyle, where the food habits, too much red meat, too many fried foods, too much available. You get overstuffed, and you end up eating too much. Of course, drinking, smoking, marijuana, some of the other drugs are also affecting, and the rat race. Everybody's running after getting rich with money, not getting richer with the good health and good mental health. I think the richness, the definition has to change. It should not be just how much bank balance you have. It should be how much health richness you have as well. So that is the reason that what's happening to those countries in the East, and even Africa is going to happen the same thing. On top of that, now we can detect diseases a lot more. We can diagnose a lot more. Things are available, and before they were not available. So good thing is that longevity is increasing even in those countries. So I think overall things are getting better as far as longevity is concerned. Even quality of life in different ways is getting better. There's people are not dying of starvation that much as they used to, and all these infectious diseases are a lot less now what they used to be. But now some of the accidents and some of these other diseases like COVID and others going to come and start killing more, and some of the cancers of the world, which come from all these chemicals, which we sometime inadvertently or unintentionally end up eating or consuming or getting exposed to. So a lot more cancers are coming up.
You know, as I mentioned in the video that you brought a culture to India, to Silicon Valley, you didn't go to India. How did you culturally, you were extremely involved in the community. You brought India, you introduced India to the California. In fact, you're one of the leading figure, the leading person in that area that introducing the culture to California. Tell us a little bit of what is that journey that the cultural thinking into the movies, the Indian cinema, Indian entertainers, the musicians. You brought an area of people from all these years. You never stopped it. Tell us a little bit about that. What inspired you to do that?
Well, that's a long story. I don't know if I can probably go, but just briefly, when I came from India, I was in my 20s, 23 years old, and become a doctor, luckily, and did my cardiology and everything. And then I decided at that point that I'm going to spend one third part of my life in my profession, one third with my family, and the other one third into the community. So, in parallel, if you do these things right when you are in your 20s and 30s, I think that's the way to go. But unfortunately, a lot of people try to make a lot of good money. They say, oh, let me make money first and then I can go help the community. I can do this. But by that time, it's too late. Your energy is gone. Your whole stamina is gone. But if you start doing these things in parallel, you start enjoying it. The balance of life is very important. You cannot spend the whole time just with your family or just as an individual building your career or just doing something totally non-profit or spiritual. So luckily, I got involved with the temple, 1983. So last we just celebrated 40 years of our temple, where I got my faith in the spiritual uplifting. So the spiritual empowerment and religious empowerment happened. So in 90s, we got an opportunity to have this India Day parade, and then India Festival of India. Later on, we called it Festival of Globe, and then Fog Movie Fest. So then culturally, we wanted to empower our communities. Uh, so we did that almost now 31 years. We've been doing what you mentioned, India Day Parade and the Festival of Globe, where more than 100,000 people show up. And in the globe, it's not just Indian Americans or Hindu Americans. We get people from all over the world, all the other ethnicities, all the other countries. They get involved, and they all come and join us. So, and it's enriching yourself while you enjoying your own culture. You're thriving with your own culture. You're also imbibing it into the next generation, the younger people. Plus, you are also sharing it with the mainstream Americans and rest of the other ethnicities, and you try to know their cultures as well. So culturally, empowerment is huge, and it can really enrich a person a lot. And lately, we have noticed that the political empowerment has become as important. If politically you're not empowered, your community is not empowered, and then they can be, put them under the bus. And look what is happening with the Jewish community now. Even though they have done so well, people are just putting them down. They're difficult for them to survive. So it can happen to any minorities or there any ethnic group communities. As Hindus, people were calling us castists. There's a lot of vandalism, a lot of violence, Hindu hate, and a lot of bullying out there. And so we have made a political empowerment organization, Americans for Hindus. So where we are proactively working in Washington, D.C., putting together the caucus, Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Sikh caucus, and trying to empower our communities. So overall, there are a lot of things besides, just religion and spiritualism and cultural and of course, social entrepreneurship is as important, economic entrepreneurship as we do in Silicon Valley, and of course, in your own profession, whether you're an IT person or scientist or researcher or medical doctor, you need to excel in those fields. And politically, also, we have to really feel good about your community and empower yourself so that you don't become part of the menu. You have to be sitting on the table making policies. You should become a policy maker rather than be part of the menu. Otherwise, somebody will eat you up and whatever's left, probably throw it in the garbage, and it's sometimes difficult to get out of the garbage bag.
I grew up as Hindu, but I did not follow that much of a religion. I was basically following it. But I admired Hindu philosophies, Hindu philosophy. More I learned about physics, more quantum physics I learned, more about the higher dimensions, Maya, the holographic principles of the physics. Really, I started admiring the Hindu philosophy, how much the depth they have, Hindu religion and the philosophy in the and how much they can teach the physics part of it. Actually, they can teach us in the physicists and scientists. It teach us a little bit and give us something interesting. And all the religious advanced sciences and everything is pointing to that direction of Hindu philosophies. That is a very stunning to me. So just comment on your love for Hinduism and Hindu philosophy.
No, and everything else, change the language. Elon Musk is putting even these small uh, transformers in your brain, and then make you think and make you move. So there's a lot more advancement, and we should not be shocked at any of these things. These things are possible. That's when you said that what people going to do. That thinkers like you, who think ahead of the time and who are visionaries, who think don't leave anything to imagination. Anything is possible. Nothing is impossible. So those with that kind of attitude and that kind of ideology, we can keep moving ahead. So it encourages us. It makes us visionaries and believers.
Dr. Japra, so let us talk about Festival of Globe a little bit. You're doing a lot of functions. You mix them all Hindu, Indian functions. Now with the next week is coming as a Holi, right? This weekend is a
Correct.
Holi. Let me bring that to the Holi thing that I want to show you. That is if you are around there, March this Saturday, right, Dr. Japra?
Yeah,
This
Saturday,
Saturday.
the March the 23rd. So we'll have more than 10,000 people over there who'll join us and play colors.
Yeah, that's this Saturday in Washington High School. They can come and see and also meet Dr. Japra. He is a legend in the Silicon Valley area. So you need to, if you want to meet him and see really have fun and a lot of food and everything is there. Is a Holy in the Washington High School in Fremont. So you can fogsv.com. If you go there, you can get it. So that is thing. Dr. Japra, I wanted to ask you. Let me just 1 second. Yeah. So let me ask you. So what do you think of You're always passion is. I learned from you how to look good on camera, how to look good
I
on
don't know.
up with the camera. You gave a lot of before coming to Silicon Valley. I have no idea how to look good on camera and all those things. I learned quite a bit from you how to be charismatic and that exuberance and that you did that. You're a great teacher in that sense. Not only you don't say that, but you teach by showing these examples. That's what I learned from you. One of the things my son learned from you. I always talk with my son about that. About you, he has the same name as you, or you are. He said, I never seen you saying one word. I never say that I don't have time. You never use that word. That's why I tell my son, never say that I don't have time. That is the wrong thing to say. You do.
That's
How do
right.
you manage? You're a cardiologist full time. You have lots of patients, and you have a festival of globe, and and a community activist. You're everywhere. How do you manage your time with all of them? You remember one third, one third, one third. That saying. That go ahead and explain that to future
Yeah,
people.
no, absolutely. Otherwise, but one of the things when people start saying, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, so they have to prioritize. There's something called prioritization, exactly where your heart is, where your passion is. And one thing my father used to say when I was young, he was said you should always try to get what you like, otherwise you have to like what you get. Okay, so you want, if you have a passion, you have a liking, and what you do, you always make time for it. Don't say I don't have time for it, and something that gonna help others, gonna help the community. I mean, everybody does things for themselves, but very few people do things for others. And
That's right.
in our philosophy, where the karmas, the good karmas, the good deeds are only when you do it for others. Whatever you do for yourself or for your family is that is part of your duty, and that's part of your responsibilities. So you need to do that as an individual. You always have to take care of yourself, uh, physically, mentally, emotionally, economically, everything. And then, of course, if you are good there, then you can help others. But the real karmas are when you help others. So, like I said, if you prioritize that, okay, I can do this. So you have to, what we say, we have to make time. You never say, I don't have time. Okay, I'll make time for this. I'll make time for this. And then you try to prioritize and then just do your best.
Dr. Japra, I'm going to ask you a little tough question now. This is a little bit of a Hindu philosophy side of it. What do you think of life and death? What do you think
Well,
of?
well, life and death actually, like that's all we're talking about the life. See, all these things which we talked about when you live and then you not only live, but you have to be lively. Also, so when you're living and you're living good living, healthy living, and then you are doing a lot more things which you are enjoying, you're celebrating. So basically, you're celebrating life, like you mentioned in your some of your talks. Life is all about celebrations. So whether you're celebrating about yourself, your family, your work, or festivals, or any philosophy you believe in. So in Hinduism, uh, living good, living well, whatever gets you a kick, whatever gets you the happiness, the inner happiness, you should do it. It doesn't mean that if somebody's CEO of Google, Adobe, Microsoft, they are better off than you are. You should never look at that way. You could be just a small worker out there, but you having fun with your life, you helping others, you are probably a lot better than the other guy. So this is what one has to put in your mind when you're living well, living happy, content, satisfied. That is a key. And when the death comes, nobody controls death. There are two things in life in our philosophy. You don't know when you're gonna get born and when you're gonna die. So those two things they say you don't know. I mean, people may say, okay, I can predict this. Now I may be just walking across the street and I may not be there tomorrow. So if one is prepared for that, which is very difficult thing to do, but our philosophy tells us if you always prepared that you may go any minute, you may go any time, and you live in the present. Okay, of course, you always learn from the past. You should always live in the present, and you can plan for the future. It may happen, may not happen. So the future planning but living in the present, every minute, every second. In our philosophy, nobody's seen tomorrow. The tomorrow is going to keep coming. So living in present and not worrying about death. Death happens. We're gonna come back again. We have reincarnation in our philosophy. So reincarnation happens. So one should just live happily.
Yeah, absolutely. You are a celebration of life. You are the master in it. You can give a master class on the celebration of life.
Thank you.
There is no other physician I've met in my life or any other person. You are a true definition of the celebration of life. And everybody has to learn that. All the physicians, they're under a lot of stress. There is a lot of burnout. They need to learn. That's why I wanted to introduce you that video because they need to really what the celebration of life is that if you do that, if you prioritize that kind of thing, that what you're teaching is a monumental and very valuable for the future of their career and everything for them. The last thing I wanted to ask you about your what do you think of a message that young physicians they're going through a lot of things now. What kind of advice you give to the young physicians? They're coming out and then they're under a lot of pressure. The first time they're working under the corporations. They never used to work for corporation. That is a lot of creating a stress on them. So tell us a little bit about how they should deal with. They should go independent as a doctors. There is a movement coming up. Some of the doctors want to be independent. So what do you think? What is your perspective on this, Dr. Japra?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, to become an independent doctor is going to be very, very tough in the future. So, what I've learned from around what has been happening, how medicine has evolved. Uh, I'll just give you a simple example. There used to be mom and pop stores, around there, but after Walmart's, the Costco's, and all these big uh, uh, has come, all these shops are being closed. So unfortunately, same thing is going to happening with medicine. Right here, even in the Bay Area, after Stanford Medicine, the Kaisers of the world, and Sutter Medical Group, they come and they've swallowed most of the independent physicians, and most of the people are working for them, and even the youngsters, the young physicians. Um, so what in the past used to be, they were very passionate about taking care of the patients, and healing, and those kind of passions were there in physicians. But these days they're taking it, like you said, as a profession, and they want to work 9 to 5, or if they have to work some weekends, or fine, or they just work hospitalist and work 40 hours a day. So there's been a lot of division. It's not like us when we used to take care of our clinics. We go to the hospital, we do the procedures, we take the night calls, we do all kind of acute MIs and heart attacks. Those things have gone now. So the people either work as an outpatient, or they work as a hospitalist, or only as an interventionist, and they have, they take calls, and 8 hour calls, 12 hour calls, or 24 hours, and then they go away. So that is going to be the future, and most of the youngsters also getting used to it. They want to work 40 hours a week and have their own lifestyle, which may not be a bad idea. And hopefully, with the AI and precision medicine coming in the future, their work load may get lesser and lesser, and a lot of these things may be done by bots out there, including surgeries, and we may be just supervising and doing it, sitting on the computer and doing it, and thinking more for the future progress in medicine and the development in medicine. So I think that's going to be the future. So one should just uh, go along with it, rather than worrying that good old medicine was the best way to do it. Of course, the human touch, the personal touch may not be there, but maybe the AI can bring that back also. The personal touch in a different way, or the emotional touch. I saw recently one movie where this, even your girlfriend is a bot, and then you fall in love with them. So it's amazing, and then a person cannot get away from it. He doesn't want to marry the real person. He just only wants to marry the bot, because the relationship, the emotional attachment was so much. That may happen in medicine also. Some of the patients may feel the same thing with the bots, if they are that caring and that passionate. So sky's the limit. So I'm looking at those kind of things, rather than having a human touch. Even the robot or the bot touch may be as good, or even better.
Dr. Japra, no one can replace you. Trust me about
I
this.
don't know what
You have
that.
a heart of gold. You know how to. You have a heart of gold. Even I've made mistakes, and you know how to excuse them and look beyond that. It is one of the purest human character you have. It's a more than it's a more than anything to me. It is you're really an exemplary physician. You're a brilliant physician, exemplary in every way. You're a community activist, you're a teacher, you're a guru, you're a mentor, you're a friend and a brother, all of them embodied in you. You're one of the true spirits of the physician, being a physician. Thank you so much. I'm going to play one more time the video. It was a little bit of a different. I'm going to play the video that I played again. I'm going to play it now. Thank you so much, Dr. Japra. This is my video.
Thank you. I'm gonna take off. Then go ahead and you can play it.
I'm good. Yeah, let you.
I have
I'm
another
going to play
meeting.
this.
I have another meeting at 7 o'clock, so I'm gonna get ready for that.
I'm going to. Thank you
Oh,
so much. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm Romesh Japra. Welcome to Festival of Globe Fog.
ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, दुल्हन के माथे की बिंदिया। ये मेरा इंडिया, ये मेरा इंडिया, I love my India.
That is not in India, it is in Silicon Valley. He brought India to Silicon Valley when Silicon Valley is no Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was in essence just a collection of sleepy towns and rural communities far removed from the technological powerhouse it would eventually evolve into. Dr. Romesh Japra, hailing from a humble village in India, embarked on a transformative journey that led him to Fremont, California after completing his cardiology training in the US. His arrival marked a significant turning point for the town as he brought forth the rich tapestry of India's traditions, cultures, and festivals, intertwining them seamlessly into the fabric of American life. Despite encountering discrimination and bias, he remained steadfast in his commitment to practicing cardiology. Dr. Japra has been ranked among top 20% doctors in North America with a specialization in cardiovascular disease and internal medicine. He provided care to a diverse diaspora, including individuals from India, China, Russia, and Afghanistan, and many other countries. Understanding the cultural and religious sensitivities of immigrants, he delivered health care with a profound respect, dignity, and unwavering compassion.
I'm Romesh Japra. I'm a cardiologist. Of course, I have long hours. Usually get up 6 o'clock in the morning, get my workout, have a little breakfast, and come to the hospital where usually I have scheduled patients for procedures, surgeries. The procedures mostly I do is cardiac angiograms or catheterizations, and then they may end up with having angioplasty or stenting. Some of the other procedures we do is the pacemakers, defibrillators. Many times we open up the arteries in the kidney arteries, the peripheral, the leg arteries. So these are the kind of
Japra Mahal, a sprawling mansion constructed from imported marble stones from India, stands majestically amidst a 25-acre vineyard in Fremont. The grandeur is marked by a towering Ganesh statue at the entrance, extending warm welcome to visitors. Overlooking the Dumbarton Bridge, which links the towns of Elon Musk's Tesla factory in Fremont and the Silicon Valley investment hub of Menlo Park, Japra Mahal has evolved into a distinguished meeting place for luminaries, diplomats, and entertainers from across the globe. It serves as a hub for a vibrant intellectual discourse and a cultural exchange, fostering connections and collaborations that transcend borders and boundaries. The Festival of Globe, known as the FOG, a non-profit organization, flagship of Dr. Japra, reflects his charismatic, vivacious, and vibrant personality.
We flying high just like a first class flight. Yeah, I'm feeling alright. About to go dynamite. Now go on, do your thing, girl. Go on and get it started. Go on and get it started. I said now get up on the dance floor. Go on and get it started. It's a Dr. Japra party. Hey.
I'm here to help celebrate India Independence Day, and we are having a wonderful day dancing, singing, celebrating, and Dr. Japra is amazing what he's done here.
Move your body right. We keep it rocking till the morning light. Everybody singing now all through the night.
Yeah, we be turning it up. Roof on fire, burning it up. Drop that thing down to the ground while the DJ in the booth straight cutting it up. We own that black label, yeah, that's that desi liquor. Na menu koi nahi parwa, koi nahi tension, koi nahi fikr. Now drop it and shake it and move it. We popping that champagne and feeling the music. We just getting started, the feelings amusing. I'm so used to winning, I don't need the proper one man gang showstopper. Are you feeling sick? I know the doctor. That's Dr. Japra. I'm a king just like Mufasa. We own that Johnny Walker.
Beyond the superficial allure of prestige lies a deeper and more profound calling, a commitment to serve communities you live in. In the face of uncertainty, Dr. Romesh Japra lights the way for future physicians. Embrace roles beyond healing. Be mentors, friends, activists, coaches, and staunch advocates for the patient's well-being. Dr. Japra embodies the very essence of noble profession, epitomizing the qualities of compassion and leadership that define the doctor. Long live Dr. Japra.